America's trust in the media has collapsed. In this episode, we expose how the Marxist machine didn't just infiltrate the universities or buy out the politicians, it also infected the very institutions that frame our reality, the daily news. From Operation Mockingbird to the coordinated takedowns of dissenting voices today, the so-called Fourth Estate has become a weapon, not of truth, but of narrative control. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how and why the media has become a propaganda arm for the globalist, socialist, and Marxist ideology.
You're listening to Uncle Sam Saves America, a patriotic show for the average Joe.
There was once a man trusted by the entire country to deliver the truth. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't an actor. He was a patriot with a microphone. His name was Walter Cronkite. When America was gripped by the Iranian hostage crisis, Cronkite delayed his retirement because he knew that during uncertain times the country needed a steady voice. He stayed until the hostages came home. Walter Cronkite was trusted voice of a nation. He didn't just report the story, he counted the days. Every single night on the CBS Evening News, he reminded us, this is day 87, this is day 141, day 122. That count was a signal, a subtle form of pressure, a way for the media to hold the Carter administration accountable, to keep the crisis in focus rather than let it be spun, softened, or buried under party narratives. It wasn't just for the people. It was for the politicians too. He refused to let Americans be forgotten. Cronkite wasn't just preaching. He wasn't playing defense for a political party. He was anchoring the truth, keeping the American people and their leaders tethered to the reality of the moment. That was journalism. That was America before the spin. Once seen as the defenders of liberty, the mainstream media were supposed to hold government accountable, question corporate abuse, and protect the public's right to know. But now, reporters repeat government lines without question. Editors spike stories that don't fit approved narratives. Journalists attack the public for thinking the wrong thoughts. And what happened? After Watergate, trust in journalism peaked. But by the 1980s, major networks and newspapers had become corporatized. Billionaires and corporate boards began buying up media companies. Access journalism replaced investigative work. Political bias became a profitable business, and by the 2000s, the press had become a partner, not a check on the government power. They're not watching the elites anymore, they're watching us. And when you speak against the narrative, they're the first to call you dangerous to democracy. But it's not democracy they're protecting, it's the machine. Propaganda doesn't look like propaganda when it comes from someone you trust. Many Americans have heard whispers of Operation Mockingbird, a CIA program from the Cold War era that covertly placed assets inside major newsrooms. But what they don't know is this: it never really stopped. The original operation used American journalists abroad to sway public opinion during geopolitical struggles. Over time, relationships between intelligence agencies and media executives became cozy, even standard operating procedure. By the 2000s, top-level anchors and network bosses were former intelligence officers, married to political operatives, or direct beneficiaries of the deep state access. And now, there's former spooks on the panels of CNN and MSNBC. They shape what gets reported, how it's framed, and what never gets mentioned at all. The intel to media pipeline is real. The stories they don't tell are often more important than the ones that they do. Tulsi Gabbard recently called this out, publicly naming Project Mockingbird and warning that rogue intelligence agents have corrupted the free press from the inside. We've gone from journalism to narrative enforcement. And it's not just TV, folks. It's social media, it's tech, it's YouTube moderation, it's Google search results. The press isn't watching the government anymore. It is the government. Today's media doesn't just lie by commission, it lies by curation, and here's how it works. You frame the story before the facts are known. Repeat it endlessly before corrections can land. Ignore or bury anything that contradicts the narrative. This isn't journalism, it's weaponized storytelling. And behind the curtain, editors with political marching orders, newsroom donators tied to PACs, and former lobbyists, government agencies offering early access in exchange for compliance, fact checkers funded by the very people they're supposed to scrutinize. It's all the illusion of a free press, but the freedom is gone. It's the same script, just different logos. Have you ever noticed that they all say the same thing? ABC, CBS, CNN, NBC, MSNBC, even your local news. The branding may change, but the words don't. Take a look at this video.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley community,
democratically controlled communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan community.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about troubling and irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 You see, different cities, different channels, it's the same script. It's not a coincidence, and it's not journalism, it's narrative control. This is what media echo chambers look like, and especially when they're fully operational. They want you to believe that you're getting a variety of viewpoints, but really you're getting a singular, approved narrative, mass-produced for your obedience. Think about it. Every major crisis that occurs, media outlets shift in perfect lockstep. They'll tell you who the villain is before you even ask. They'll mock anyone who questions it, and then they rewrite the history within a month of the truth actually slipping out. They manufacture your consent before you even know that you've given it. This is psychological warfare dressed in a necktie. But we see it now, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. And if the truth can't get out, then the lie becomes the default. That's the core tactic of every propaganda machine. But today, it's not just one machine, it's a network of them. Big tech, legacy media, intelligence assets, political operatives, they all work together to suppress, distort, discredit, and control. They used to burn books. Now they just throttle your search, and they throttle your reach, and they throttle your ideas, and they throttle your voice. They call it content moderation, but what it really is ideological warfare. And
this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Shadow bans, deplatforming, demonetization. If you threaten the narrative, the algorithm becomes your enemy and it will bury you. Remember the Twitter files? They confirmed what we already knew, that government agencies were flagging accounts for takedown. The truth was labeled disinformation while the lie was boosted to the top of your feed. This isn't just censorship, it's regime protection. You think you're safe because you're playing by the rules, but they change the rules the second you become the narrative. Payment processors, email hosts, cloud storage, they're all used as tools for silencing dissidents. Remember when GoFundMe seized money from truckers? What about when PayPal threatened misinformation fines? Or when YouTube deleted entire channels for quoting government data? This is a digital gulag, right? The walls are closing in. When censorship doesn't work, they'll go and assassinate your character. Disagree with us and we'll destroy you. Hit pieces doxing anonymous sources from people with content familiar to the matter. Suddenly you're a conspiracy theorist. You are.
It's extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Or you're a dangerous extremist, all because you asked the wrong question or had the wrong guest. They did it to the libs of TikTok. They did it to RFK Jr. They've tried to do it on everyone who steps outside of the script. They don't debate, they destroy. And that's not journalism, that's information warfare. And if they can't shut you up, they'll try to box you in. Controlled opposition is how they maintain the illusion of choice. The left versus the right on cable news, while they all work for the same corporate media overlords. Notice who's allowed on TV and who isn't. Tulsi Gabbard left the Democratic Party and the media turned on her. RFK Jr., he questions the machine and suddenly he's far-right extremist. Meanwhile, you get token rebels like the View's conservative people or the Lincoln Project clowns. They want you to feel representative, but you're never really actually truly challenged. But here's the truth that they fear the most. We don't need permission to speak. We need the courage to say what we're thinking. The gatekeepers are failing, and the censorship regime is crumbling. Because you can't silence a movement that's already thinking for itself. So keep speaking, keep creating, keep questioning. Because the truth doesn't need a spotlight. The truth needs you to speak your mind, and the truth needs you to speak the truth. The system wants you distracted. It wants you divided, endlessly scrolling, arguing aimlessly, chasing clickbait instead of chasing the truth. Because as long as you're overwhelmed or numb, you won't resist. But here's the truth that they hope you never realize. You have more power than you think. Think like a counter signal operator. You're no longer just a consumer of the media. You're an operator inside a digital war zone. Every article you share, every video you amplify, every truth that you uncover, it either strengthens the republic or it feeds the machine.
You're listening to Uncle Sam Saves America, a patriotic show for the average Joe.